Welcome back to another episode of Rocket Table Talk.
If there's anyone still listening, yeah, my bad.
I'm Doug. This is Jasmine. We're back again after a few weeks. Merry Christmas.
Mark Chrysler.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus. Whatever else goes on.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yay.
2020. Here we are.
We hope you get all the critical hits for the next 2020.
Roll your 20s and not your ones.
Yes.
This is the year of it.
It's the year of the 20s.
Year of the 20s. Today's episode, after a few weeks off, we're talking about the lovely class of...
Fighters.
That's right.
Ching ching.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's so racist.
No, it's not. It is absolutely not. It was the swords.
It was
You're so rude.
onomatopoeia of very racist.
Disrespectful.
So Jasmine,
Mm-hmm.
what do fighters look like?
That's something.
Paint me a picture.
Strong. Anyone with a sword is the first thing that I think of. Big sword.
But not too big, otherwise
fancy
it's a barbarian.
armor. It can still be a big sword because you have proficiencies in dual wielding.
That's true.
Big swords,
Okay, we
bow
get
on their
that.
back, big armor, bannerman maybe. I don't know. How do you picture a fighter, Doug?
Pick a fighter that's anyone who's bad ass.
Right.
Primarily doesn't use magic. Can throw probably potions, like if they need to. A little bit of ranged abilities maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But primarily using that massive sword and a shield even.
Yes,
Pretty much
you can have a shield.
using any weapon as
Yep.
long as it's not
And any
primarily
armor.
magic.
Well, I mean, we'll discuss that because there are some archetypes that can use magic.
Yeah, that is true. But
As a fighter.
But like they don't use it primarily. They use it to enhance their other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
How does one sound like to you? If you were trying to roleplay one. We haven't
wouldn't,
done this question. in a
I
while.
wouldn't even know. Like, but that's
That's my character.
yeah. He was a cleric.
You
burped.
No, I didn't burp.
No, I love it. I couldn't tell you because I think fighters are so diverse and there's such an array of different fighting styles and representations out there that they wouldn't have one voice. This is the politically correct version of me coming through.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point to make. You know how we had that argument about, I said that clerics are a really good starting class because like they could be pretty much fill any role.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So could fighters.
in a sense, yes, they're not like, you could be the tank, you couldn't be the healer, but you can definitely be like the support.
No, you can't be a healer.
Yeah.
That is true.
So like if you're just starting D&D and you don't know, if you don't want to like set yourself up to be like a big sword barbarian fighter, then you could just be like start off as like a dual wield fighter, then go into an archery fighter, and then maybe be a little bit of magic fighter.
Yeah,
It's
if you
just
like the whole animal aspect as well, there's a cavalier.
Yes,
You
the mounted
can
fighter.
have a little pet boy
Yep.
with you. Can't fight for you, but he can take some hits.
And he walks really fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
He can get you in the middle of the fight in
And then leaves you there.
in a minute.
Just think of Roach. That just like just runs
Roach.
in and then just glitches out.
And he's suddenly above you and you can't get on him anymore.
Like what happened to us the other day playing, and we called him.
Stuck in a tree. No, he
got
was
stuck
on
in
an
the
island.
water. It's like, come here, Roach, and then it's like spawns on the map, and it's just like
Where is he? And we
He's-
look,
it's
and he's in the water.
all the blue. It's like, there's he. Like, fucking Roach, how?
Speaking of pop culture fighters, we got a long list today, so we've had to cull it down
So,
because
just a disclaimer, you could pretty much class most people
into a fighter.
into a fighter
You really can.
because it's a very diverse class.
There is a lot of classes.
So if we did the proper list like we've been trying to do for the last classes, this would be an hour
the
long.
longest one.
Yeah.
So we're going to, a bunch of them we could even abbreviate as like a whole movie into a category.
That's correct, yes.
For example, the first one on our list, your favorite.
Most of the dwarves from The Hobbit.
Yes.
Because like I feel like maybe one or two of them may not be, like they could just be like the rogues or whatever.
We watched it yesterday. That's why it's on our mind.
film.
Yep.
But yeah, majority of the hobbits, without going through all of them, like Dwalin and Balin at your service.
Bomba.
Bomba, Biffa, Buffa, Bomba. And then Killian Feely.
Yep. And then Thorin Oakenshield carrying
Yes.
it in the rear.
Yeah.
He has his shield.
And Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo
That's his
Baggins.
French cousin.
I would call him a rogue because he's their
Yeah,
burglar.
but I'm saying it's
But
the party.
yes.
Yeah. And then off that, most characters from the Lord of the Rings as well.
Most.
Like
There's obviously their magic users. We've got Gandalf and we've got Legolas, who would be the ranger.
yeah.
But
Like
doing some
Aragorn,
research.
Gimli.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
You
doing
make
some
big
research,
ones.
Legolas may have been an
Could
arcane
potentially
archer.
be an arcane archer because fighters are also
ranged.
archers.
Yes.
They're not just a ranger.
They don't have spell cards, do they? If you were going to buy
Fighters.
them. No.
I think they are in the martial arts.
The martial
one.
powers and races.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The one I've got here.
The one that we've got here that holds up your microphone because you're too tall and you need something to sustain you.
Yes, these bad boys.
Yeah. So this is one that reading through this, we had this big, not an argument, we had a discussion about it, was Green Arrow. Green Arrow is considered a fighter.
For me, it's just anyone with a bow and arrow is a ranger, but that doesn't necessarily translate anymore because reading up on an arcane archer, you can do trick shots and you can like change the way, the direction of the arrow if you miss the first time.
Yeah.
You could potentially hit someone else with it.
So that's the
really
argument's
cool.
sake online is that because Green Arrow uses a lot of trick shots, like he has like the different arrows that he uses and they all do different things and he's not
Same with
like a tracker.
Hawkeye could potentially
Yeah, he could be in there
be
too.
moved into the arcane archer.
Yeah.
That's if you just want to play it differently.
Because we're going with the idea that if
Rangers
you're
are
a ranger,
bows.
rangers are bows, but also they do tracking and traps. So that's why we're differentiating and saying that Green Arrow could be a fighter.
Yeah, because he doesn't track and he doesn't
Use traps.
traps and
That we know
all
of.
that fun stuff.
I think
for
he
now.
just uses arrows.
I think it's just arrows.
Or like arrow-based
I mean,
traps.
he did trap Black Canary.
Dick.
Love it.
Anyone from fighting games?
Yeah, so Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
It's literally in the name of the genre.
Yeah.
Fighting games. Fighters.
Games. I mean, there's like characters you could argue like Sub-Zero because he's got magic and that kind of stuff. But when you break it down, they're fighting close combat.
But wouldn't he be a monk because he's a ninja?
Maybe.
Or like a rogue because he's a
No,
ninja?
wait, isn't he a samurai? No. What's
Don't touch me.
not Sub-Zero? What's his opposite?
Scorpion?
Yeah.
Get over here.
Isn't he a samurai?
I think he's also a ninja. He's part of the Lin Kuei ninja clans.
Like, I really need to play those games again.
No, you do not. There's nothing in them of substance. No offense to anyone who loves it.
He just lost all our viewers.
Yeah, every single one of them is also
They're all
a
like,
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat fan.
Kombat is the best.
Yeah, so anyone
So
from...
it's in the title.
it's in the
Fighting
title.
games, you got your classic ones.
And we're saying like the majority. Doesn't have to be that every single one of those
No,
characters count.
just the majority.
of them.
Yep. Absolutely. Thor, God of Thunder. And the reason we put this was reading more on the bond with Eldritch Knight.
Yes.
You bond with one of your weapons.
Yes.
He is bonded with both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. And you can technically have two.
Yeah. But if
So-
you want to have three, you have to...
You have to let go of one.
You let go of one, which
You
is
have
like...
to be like, sorry,
cool.
friend.
Write that down.
Farewell. So Thor, God of Thunder, if you were to play him, I would play him as a Eldritch Knight bonded weapon fighter.
I feel like there's a lot of builds out there already for Thor.
Mm-hmm.
And without us actually reading it,
We were like, we'll think of him.
we're just going to say that he's an Eldritch Knight fighter. Link. Legend of Zelda.
Link, Legend of Zelda. I think so. Fights with the sword, has his shields, have to upgrade his weapons.
Only in Breath of the Wild.
Don't you do that in Ocarina?
You just get a different sword, like the Master Sword.
Yeah, it's upgrading them. Upgrading his weapons.
It's not really like forging a brand new weapon.
No, he's paying someone to forge it.
It's the Master Sword. It's forged in ages. He doesn't pay anyone.
All right, fine. Just link in Breath of the Wild. Why do you do this?
It's like-
Why do you ruin it?
You can't, it's like,
Let me play. Let me live my fantasy.
let me live my life.
Let me live my life.
Punisher?
Punisher. You could classify him as a gunslinger, which is technically its own class, but it is subclass
Okay.
from fighter.
A point that I want to make now, which I didn't think about before, he gets into like a really angry rage. And like the whole reason he became the Punisher was because
True.
of like his
Those
family
rages.
died, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like
that's probably
that
more
could be more barbarian, but like barbarian
Yeah.
mixed with fighter so he can use his guns.
So you'd say primarily barbarian with a subclass of fighter.
Potentially, like
Yeah.
or either or. Like I think,
We haven't read much of the comics, so we couldn't go into too much
and we
detail.
haven't watched
but
the TV show because
I did. I watched the first 6 episodes.
Without me?
I got bored.
Yeah, well, that shows a lot about your character.
Rude.
Yeah, well, you don't like that. Everyone loved that show, apparently.
Yeah,
according
well,
to
I
the
mean,
3
everyone
people
loved
out.
also Daredevil. and
Daredevil
that
was
shocking.
good.
Daredevil was not good.
This isn't a Marvel podcast. Contain yourself.
John Wick.
Daredevil was good. What are you talking about?
Daredevil was not
It was
good.
like Law and Order, but with fighting.
It was horrible.
Dun, 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 dun.
Would you count John Wick as a fighter? Or primarily... All right, listen, Doug. You proud of yourself? Bum.
Bum, 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 bum. Who are we up to? John Wick.
Yes, for the third time.
Look, we've had a break. We've been working hard, but it's been a while since we've done this. We're a little bit kooky, some
yeah,
might say.
you are.
I'm. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I guess I'll take it. Just throw me under the bus that way.
I will.
John Wick. No, he's a fighter because he fights, but his primary job was assassin.
So you'd put him as a rogue?
I think he could be I think if you were to break it down timeline wise, started off as a rogue or an assassin or whatever,
and then dog died.
Yeah.
Fighter.
Yeah. So it's was it PD? So PD and post D would be pre-dog and post-dog.
No.
So
PD and PD.
yeah, PD and PD.
Pre-D and
Post-D, yeah.
Post-D.
So pre-D, he's a rogue, and post-D, he is
He was just
a
out the
fighter.
Or would it be a barbarian because he's got rage in him?
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, he's raged because of the dog. He killed the people, but then he's just fucking mad
He's just
afterwards.
there to
He's about to fuck shit up.
Oh, look, if anyone out there has a opinion about John Wick, what class he'd be in, let us know.
Hit us
Love
up
to
on
hear
our
it.
social medias at Rocket Tabletop on whatever.
Ever. Anything.
Everything, we've got it.
Hellboy.
And you skipped Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah, I'd count him. He's more of a joker. Like, I could say he could even be a bard. He'd be a multi-class fighter bard.
because like
He doesn't
some
sing.
of his insults will deal damage because he'll hit you afterwards.
Like, where's what's his name? Ajax? Or like, where's Francis? And
Where's
he
Francis?
just kill
Well,
everyone.
I was thinking, you're going to die by a, what is it called?
Zamboni.
The Zamboni.
Like, just tell me where he is.
Tell me where he is.
Subplot:
kill
no
you
one
in-
knows who Francis is.
I'll kill you in 5 to 10 minutes. I think Deadpool 100% would be a fighter. Classically, a samurai because he has his 2 samurai swords.
They're called katanas.
Fucking whatever. And he has other elements that are also fighters. So he can dual wield bigger weapons. You know, you can hold a bazooka and all that fun stuff. Gunslinger, if you want to.
He uses different weapons, and then that is what we've discovered is a primary aspect of a fighter is they can use multiple weapons.
Yep.
And so that's why we're classing him as a fighter.
As a fighter.
Hellboy.
Thank you.
That's the next one.
Yep. I can
Big red boy. No horns, giant fist.
Yep.
Imagine taking that.
And no, I don't want to think that.
And then his gun, which is
Would you count him as a gunslinger? Or would you still classify him as a fighter because he can use his
I'm just going to say
fighting
forewarning for anyone who doesn't know, the gunslinger class is a critical role enabled content. So technically it's not
We think.
canon.
No, it is. No, it's official.
It's official.
So
So
it's like-
you can play it in Adventure League.
Yes.
Okay. But so if you
Yes,
don't
with a question mark.
if you don't know, then just go into D&D Beyond and you can look up the gunslinger
They have all
class.
the content there as
Yeah.
well, which is really cool.
It is an archetype of the fighter, and that's why we're bringing it up a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Mulan is a classic.
well, she's a warrior.
She's a warrior.
She's a warrior
samurai.
from the Chinese royal army or whatever it is. Now all of China knows who you are here. Good.
Thanks.
Thanks, ma'am.
I'm gonna go back to my dad.
He's on that fire. He's just like, he's just trying to turn it off.
Stop, fans.
Yeah, but Mulan counts.
100% strong female lead. Took down the Hans. Hans?
A Han.
I was going
I
to say
don't
Hans
think it's a-
Gruber.
I don't think it's there's a plural to it.
Yes,
'cause
it's
a
just a
noun.
Han.
Yeah.
Which is great. Michonne from Walking Dead.
The Michonne from Walking Dead.
Same sort of thing. Has a katana.
Yeah, she just.
Did I
she
say it
just
right this time?
Katana,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought. Bitch.
Katana and samurai sword are completely different.
Are they though?
Thoughts? I think from what we've said is like the what do we think fighters look like? She fits into that. She has a sword. She's angry, but
she's not too angry.
Yeah, she's not too angry.
Bleeds into that one.
So is that the defining factor between what takes you over the line from being a fighter and a barbarian? Is
I think barbarian is also in the no armor thing, whereas fighters do wear armor and they're proficient in all armor, so they can really fluid.
They're versatile.
Can fit it. Yeah, they're versatile.
But they get no armor bonuses, so they have to wear something.
Have to wear the armor to protect themselves. But there's like they have like second wind and action surge and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. Which is, you could almost say similar to a barbarian, but I think barbarians are seen as like the no armor. You know, we can take a hit, so we can also deal a hit. Whereas fighters know their limitations, and I would say their thought process is a lot closer to a rogue than a barbarian.
Yeah,
and that's where I would almost put fighters in between. Like, you're gonna say, if you're a fighter on the range between a barbarian and a rogue, where do you fit? I'm fit in a fighter.
Like, yeah, that's fair enough. No,
I think that's the easiest way to categorize the difference between what a fighter is. Sorry, what a barbarian is and what a rogue is the fighters in between that.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually a really good idea for a infograph. It's like, where would you fit on like the rogue
on a
barbarian
scale to this, and then if you're in between them, then you just
Fighter.
multi-class.
Yeah, then you just multi-class, exactly.
Which is really
Michonne
cool.
would fit in that.
Yes, 100%.
Geralt of Rivia.
So good.
Great show. Highly recommend it.
Can you do the music? I can't think of it now
Toss
either.
a coin for your Witcher.
No, I was going to do the...
I was like, I can only think of that song right now.
I'm trying to think of like the fighting music, and for the life of me, I am blanking.
We literally have been playing it non-stop since
for
the
like
show came out.
Yeah, I love my game.
That's Lord of the Rings.
No, I've got Lord of the Rings in my head too.
That's super awkward because we were making fun of it as the game was loading last
I
time.
can't think.
Don't stop, never get up.
You can kill me.
I've
I've got Star Wars now in my head.
What? That's not Star Wars.
Isn't it?
No.
What am I singing then?
You're singing some like classical rendition.
No, it's not. It's yes, I am. That's it.
That's Star Wars.
That's not what I was singing.
It's a big head. Very big head. Oh my god, it's big. So Geralt counts. He has got the sword.
Who else? Zorro from One Piece.
Oh, Zorro. I thought you said like the normal Zorro.
No, Zorro from One Piece.
So Zorro, like the dude with
would-
the black hat and the cape, and he uses a fencing
Why
sword.
do you do this?
They both count.
No.
Zorro and Zorro.
Or would Zorro from non-One Piece be a swashbuckler?
No, he's not a pirate. He just has he's a musketeer. So what would a musketeer? Would any of the myth three musketeers?
Yeah.
Like that. Is that real
Yes,
life?
that is real. Well, it's not real, but it's fiction.
Yeah. Did it really
It's
happen?
not non-fiction.
So the seven of the three musketeers, because there's 7 of them. Yeah, there was. How crazy is that, right? They just couldn't count.
I don't even know where we're going with this now. But
I'm trying to say is, do they count as being fighters? Because then if they count as being
rogues.
fighters, then Zorro will count as being fighters.
Well, Zorro's got samurai swords.
No, Zorro as in...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
character.
Yeah.
Because he's also a musketeer.
Look, yes. Let's just put them both in fighters and be done with this. There's just too many fighters.
So, what's his name? Zayanara Zorro?
Roanora's. Roanor. Nah, I can't do it now. My favorite show in the whole world, and I can't do it.
Roranoro?
Ronoro.
This is your...
Roanoa. I think it's actually an A at the end.
Okay, anyway. So that Zorro, he is a samurai with 3 swords, and he's really famous for his 3 swords.
Roanoa.
Roranora.
Yeah.
Roranora Zorro.
Roroanoa. I can't.
Say that 5 times fast. Can't even say it once fast.
I can't even do it. On a good day, I can do it 5, but no.
Not today.
We can't even think of the Witcher song.
We're a little bit tired. It's been a long couple of days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm saying that he would count with his famous 3-sword maneuver, whatever it's called.
Fighting style.
Yeah. What's it called? Does he have a name for it?
Yes. I'm not going to be able to tell you what it is, though.
Like fighting lion or some rubbish?
No, they're different attacks. He's got names for the different attacks.
So, okay, he counts. I'm saying he counts.
3-sword style is what he calls it.
Could you do that in D&D, you reckon?
3 swords.
Yeah. Because you know how that you can dual wield? Do you reckon you could just dual wield and just add a bit? Yeah.
Put it in there. I mean, sure, if you play around with it enough, yes.
You could homebrew that shit so hard. Then we've got The Bride from Kill Bill.
Yep, 100%.
I've never watched it, but it looks scary.
It's good.
It's
a
horror
good
film?
No.
Oh.
It is a classic action Quentin Tarantino film.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right?
You did,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know if that's correct.
Zorro.
She's got the samurai sword. She was classically trained, done all that kind of stuff.
Actually?
Look, yes.
I don't know the
Can't
lore
remember.
of Kill Bill. So.
Yes. No, she was. Because when she got the special sword, she had to go to a temple and learn the secret ways so she could use it. So yes, she was. And that's in the second film.
There's 2?
There's 2.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I was taking the puss.
Huntress from the DC universe.
Yeah.
Or would she be a gunslinger? But she does use martial weapons. So.
Even if she's a gunslinger, she'll be
still a fighter.
Mm-hmm. But she's a crossbow. So a crossbow gunslinger. Mm-hmm. Which would then just be an arcane archer because she
can do trick shots.
She's also a cavalier because she uses her motorbike a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's just a mixture of
so
everything.
She's a fighter.
She's a fighter multiclassing another fighter. That's what she's doing.
Love it. The Spartans.
The Spartans from 300, such as like King Leonidas.
And they're not. Or are they barbarians because they don't have armor?
They have armor. They got shields and helmets and leather.
Do they wear leather?
And they got little flappies on their peepees and booties and sandals.
Sure.
And then going from that, and I wrote down the Spartans on the list. I was just like, Master Chief, he's a Spartan. He's a warrior. So Master Chief as well would count as a warrior, I reckon. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say he's a gunslinger. I'd just say he's a warrior that uses a ranged weapon.
Yes. Because it's not really a gun. It's an alien weapon.
It's a pulse rifle. Or a carbine rifle, as some might call it.
Regardless, it's not bullets that's coming out of it.
It's got bullets.
Is it bullets or is it like lasers?
No, he doesn't use he picks up laser guns from the Covenant.
See,
he doesn't use... Anyway, what's that?
I don't play Halo, so...
I'm getting sidetracked from that.
Princess Fiona
from Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we've talked about her already.
No, not yet. We've talked about
Was
Shrek
she in
characters.
the Disney...
We talked about... No, she wasn't.
Okay.
Because she's not Disney. We did talk about...
Shrek isn't Disney?
No. Garlic bread makes you fat.
Garlic bread makes you fat?
No, we talked about Puss in Boots, but we didn't talk about Princess Fiona.
Ah, true. Did we say the Puss in Boots was a swashbuckler?
I think we wanted to say he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe then Zorro and...
No, because... Oh, fuck, he is a pirate too. Zorro's a rogue.
Wait.
He is a pirate.
No. Which Zorro are we talking? I'm talking about black...
My Zorro.
Okay, I'm talking about black clad in leather Zorro.
My boy Zorro. Green hair.
What's his name? First name?
No, I'm not doing it.
Roranora.
I can't.
Roranora.
I'm thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
Ellie from The Last of Us.
That was really big, just like, nope.
I'm just ignoring you because you're going to just make fun of me until I say it wrong again.
Pretty much, yeah. I wanted to get you to say it. Yeah, so we got some video game characters. In case people weren't already aware, we're trying to do inspiration that's both male characters and female characters. Because we find it, when we try to research for our podcast, we find it hard to find a good list of both.
Yeah, well, yes.
Because like we find either... list top 10 barbarians and they're all male, or we do top 10 mages and they're all female.
And they're all females,
it's just
and it's not fair if... Yes.
Like, it shouldn't just... Yeah, anyway. So we try to make a
as
list of
fair
both.
as possible.
So now we got some characters that we... Yeah.
So a lot of zombie ones. Ellie.
From Last of Us.
Clementine. You know who's another zombie one? The daughter of Rick from Walking Dead.
Okay, yep. I wouldn't know, but anyway.
You keep talking. I'll figure it out.
So yeah, Ellie from Last of Us. She's a warrior. In the second game, which people are excited for, I am not. She'll be in it. She'll be with the second game.
Wait, what game are we talking about?
Last of Us.
Yeah, but I thought we were on Clementine.
Then we got Clementine from the Walking Dead Telltale series.
Yep.
Which that was a great idea that you had. Like saying that, I was like, "Fuck yeah, she 100% would
fights,
be a warrior."
Yeah, she
more in like season 2, but yeah.
Yeah, but she holds her own towards the end, and she did end up. Oh, should I spoil it?
Don't say spoilers.
Nope, I'm not going to spoil
Even though
it.
the game's like a decade old now. Don't do spoilers. Great franchise for anyone who hasn't played it. Highly recommend.
It's really cool. It's really fun.
Then we got this one, which was Ellen Ripley from the Alien series.
100%.
Very iconic female warrior.
Serious
fighter, sorry.
But
oh yeah.
Takes nothing from no one. She's got her weapons.
What's that famous line she says when she's in the giant forklift? She says, "Give me back my cat." And then she's like...
Is that what she says? I was like, I don't think that's right.
I think it's "Don't touch the girl" or some rubbish.
I thought it was like a fuck you sort of thing.
To the alien. Get off my ship.
Bitch.
I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes on
this
my motherfucking plane. But
And
replace snakes with aliens and playing with spaceship.
love it. Metroid series.
What's her name? Samus Aran.
Thank you.
Yeah, Samus Aran would count. Even though she's a hunter, she's a bounty hunter. Wouldn't she be a
Would you count her as a ranger then?
Potentially. I'm tossing up between the two.
Yes, but she does a lot of close combat as well.
With what?
With her feet and their arms. And she punched with the...
Your only knowledge of her is from Smash Brothers.
Yes.
When you spam X and then she does close attacks.
Yes. You got me there.
Look, okay, we put it in the list now. If anyone wants to disagree, put it in the comments.
Yeah. Please tell us where to put it.
But we've definitely just added her in here because we think she's an awesome fighter anyway. Because she does everything. She can be unarmored or armored.
Yep.
And then she uses different weapons with her arm gun, her rockets, her laser whip.
Oh, so you've actually played the Metroid games.
I love the Metroid series. Or she uses just like a standard pistol, which then turns into a whip as well.
Oh, look at you go.
I know, right? It's like as if I've done research. So now we're going to break off from the podcast a little bit, and we've got something to read out. Jasmine's going to read it out. Who knew that this little podcast would get
some attention? I don't know if it's a sponsor, but regardless, we would like to give a huge shout out to the amazing team that is Imaginary Adventures. If you guys use Rocket Tabletop in one word at the checkout, you can get 20% off store-wide. We hope you guys use this. One, it helps Imaginary Adventures. It helps us. It helps you. It's a win-win-win-win. Make sure you get on that as soon as possible, though, because this does expire at the end of January 2020.
Yeah. So just to recap, Rocket Tabletop spelled ROCKETTABLETOP.
Yeah.
One word.
I had to think about that.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you're going to spell this wrong.
Rocket Tabletop at checkout has a discount code, 20% off until the end of January.
Ham on it. They've got the new Dungeons and Doggies.
Number 3.
Up for pre-order. Yep. Series 3. They've just had a huge restock of WizKids minis. They've got amazing dice. They've got their own dice that they do. If you're a Pathfinder fan, they've got...
or Starfinder, they've got that as well.
Starfinder, they got a lot of stuff on there. Check them out. 20% off store-wide. They absolutely deserve the attention.
Okay. And back to the podcast now.
Back to quick builds.
Who knew that from episode 1 to now we actually get a sponsored segment? We did it! Yay! And that is the end. This is when we die. It's like copyright claim.
All right, done.
So a quick build for a fighter. Prioritize strength or dex, depending on where you're going. If you want to be a rangery or if you're going to have a close combat.
Second is your constitution.
Or intelligence if you're going to be an Eldritch Knight as your archetype.
Because you need your magic, and intelligence is the magic
number
subclass.
Casting modifier. Yeah, which is it's good to know that. Yeah, you can prioritize strength or dex, which is a lot of classes
as
do
you
that.
would for a fighter.
Yeah, but then as well as like constitution, which we normally determine is like the second most important one to do. It's like it's const, or you could do intelligence, but like
depending on what
pick what you want to do.
Yeah, it's the real difference between fighting type, close combat, and ranged spell subclasses is because most of your close combat will require you to have a higher strength or dex because you're fighting with your hands versus ranged you need either dex or your wisdom or intelligence, whatever your spellcasting modifier is, which is really cool.
It allows for that, like we said before, it's a very versatile class to pick.
It is.
Because you can be like, oh fuck it, I don't actually want to be a close combat, I'm going to be
ranged, even though you're a fighter.
Hit points 1d10, pretty standard.
Really nice. No, that's higher than most. I think it averages out as a 1d8 is an average.
Not the classes I play.
No, I know.
Like the classes I play, they're all roughly that.
All the one that I've played have been 1d8. Hit points. 1d10.
Standard for
proficiencies. All armor.
All armor and shields,
which is really cool because that's not all of them.
We as we're saying, it adds to the versatile-ness. Versatility to the class.
That's the word you're looking for.
Versatile-ness. I'm sticking with it. Yeah, and then off that, weapons, you're proficient in both simple and martial weapons.
Which is fun.
Are ranged weapons considered in
simple weapons?
They're in simple weapons.
Look, that's with your trusty player's handbook,
which you can buy on Imaginary Adventures with the discount code Rocket Tabletop 20% off at checkout until end of January.
You nailed that.
I should be one of those disclaimer guys.
Yep,
authorized by Liberal Party Canberra.
Okay. Simple melee. It just says simple weapons. It's a simple and martial weapons. So yeah, you get simple weapons and martial weapons. So you can do everything.
You can do pretty much everything.
You have proficiency in all weapons.
You have proficiency with all armors and all weapons.
Yes, which they do talk a bit about that at the beginning of the fighting class anyway, because one of the first words that they use,
I'm gonna say now, it's the. A. Fuck. It's the first word they use.
Oh.
Oh, one sec.
You're all good. Fighters learn the basic of all combat styles. Every fighter can swing an axe, fence with a rapier, wield a long sword or a greatsword, use a bow, and even trap foes in a net with some degree of skill.
Yeah.
So, yes, a defining factor of a fighter is that you're proficient in all weapons, in all armor. You have freedom to explore that as much as possible. So you walk into an armory, you can have one of everything.
Just thinking now, because you said throwing a net, one thing I thought of then was any gladiator. Because gladiators use nets poles, and then they use nets, then they use whips, then they use swords. Then
they use their bows and arrows,
Yeah, so pretty much if you wanted to play like a gladiator, you could do that.
Yeah.
They don't start with any tools. Oh, so they're not proficient in any tools,
They have no tools, which is fine. I mean, they have to be weak somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Saving throws are strength and constitution.
Actually, that is not necessarily true, because if you choose the play testing version of Rune... what was it called? Warrior? You have proficiency in Smith tools.
Rune Knight, sorry.
Rune Knight.
Yeah.
You get proficiency in Smith tools.
Yeah, that's at level 3.
Yeah.
2. 1.
Saving throws is strength and constitution.
And you get to pick from two skills from either acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, or survival. And that just goes with the role playing aspect of it.
100%.
Like fighters, very acrobatic. They can do pretty much everything.
Same with athletics.
Animal handling goes with cavalier, if you're going to be with that.
And what was the other magic one?
Rune Knight, Eldritch Knight.
Arcana.
Arcane Archer.
Arcane Archer.
Archer. Insight, so you could know what the enemy's going to do, sort of thing.
You can see if they're lying or not.
Intimidation, because you're a fighter, you're right in the way of it.
Perception, same sort of thing. And then survival.
Yeah.
You know how to live on your own.
Yeah.
So very classic. Most of the fighter archetypes also allow you to pick a third proficiency at third level. So it is also something to keep in mind. Pick 2 that you think you'll need right at the beginning, and then you get to have more freedom as you go along.
Yeah, we did see that one of the archetypes was like, if you're not proficient in anything that's strength based, you just get extra bonuses to it.
Round up, which is really fun.
So don't think too much about skills when you're playing a fighter. Just think of ones that might fit in, and then
how you want to play your character. Are you going to do it heavy role play? Pick those role playing ones. I think honestly, if I was going to be playing a fighter, I would do athletics and perception, because honestly, I use perception in absolutely everything, and I hate when I don't have a proficiency bonus in it.
I think if I had to do a fighter and pick from just that bracket, I'd pick perception and survival for a role playing perspective of like very intimidating. But
you didn't pick intimidation.
What did I say?
You said perception and survival.
I was meant to say intimidation, and then my brain was like instead of intimidation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would pick intimidation and survival, because like you're intimidating and you can survive.
I will survive. Yep, love it. So going into more about fighters, we have action surge. It's something you gain at 2nd level. So once per short rest, take 1 additional action on your turn as a reaction. Was that what it was?
I think so, yeah.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Which is 1 per short rest, so you only get once.
So you can smash that right out and get it back very quickly.
You take 1 additional action on your turn.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
That's what I've written down. And then after that, it's like picking fighting styles. So
fighting styles is fun.
Fighting styles is it's similar to the ones that you can get in as a ranger. They also have fighting styles.
Rangers have fighting styles, and someone else has them as well, but I'm going to assume it's just these 2 for now.
Yeah.
But different from the ranger, you have more options. So rangers and fighters have both archery, defense, dueling as their main 3.
Yeah.
But fighters then get great weapon fighting, protection, 2 weapon fighting. Actually, I think so does rangers, and then second wind.
Yeah. So
Second wind's a separate thing.
Yeah, but like, so this is like,
Protection
again,
rate,
because you get this at 1, right? You get
2.
No, you get it at 1. Fighting style is just at 1.
Oh, there you go.
So if you start off and you say, oh, I think I'm going to be playing an archer with an arrow and a bow, you can pick the archery fighting style, so you get the gain 2 to bonus. Then there's a archetype that you can pick, which is the champion, and with that you can get a second fighting style. So if you're not too familiar with how you want to play it, you pick champion, and then when you get to 10, I think it is, you pick a second fighting style and be like, oh, I didn't really enjoy being an archer, so let's do a dual wielder instead. And you can, because it's so versatile, and you can have weapons with versatile or with finesse.
Finesse is dex and cons. It's versatile is 1 or 2 hands.
I'm thinking of the one that you can use dex or strength as your modifier.
Finesse.
So because bows use dex, but if you use finesse weapons and dual wield them, then you can still use a dex modifier and
for
then
that
have
as
it
well.
as.
Yeah, you can really play it. I think fighters are very versatile, as like we were saying earlier. There's a lot of freedom with it, especially when you choose your fighting style. You can play into the role-playing aspect, but yes, if you want to be a ranger, you have that archery bonus. If you want to be a great weapon fighter, that one's really fun. So when you roll a 1 or 2 on damage die, you can re-roll them.
That's right.
Which is really fun.
Yep.
And then there's like protection and 2 weapon fighting and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So another thing that the fighters get is second wind, which is as your bonus action, you can restore hit points, which is, I think, what is it, equivalent to your
1d10 plus your fighter level.
Yeah, 1d10 plus your fighter level.
Yeah, right at the beginning you can get up to 11 points.
That's pretty good, right?
It's not bad, especially if you roll well.
You can use that 1 per short rest. And at the later levels, you get the Indomitable, which is re-roll a savings throw that you fail. You get that 1 per long rest. So fighter has a lot of damage and sustainability from the get-go before you even choose what archetype that you want to go
which
for.
is really fun.
Which again works with that versatility. It's
archetype or archetype?
Archetype.
I say archetype.
Yeah, archetype.
You've been saying archetype.
Yeah, like archer, because I've been saying archer a fair
Oh,
bit.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry, but thank you for calling me out on this live format that we got.
I got you, boo.
It's good to know that, like, again, can't stress this enough. The fighter is very versatile.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm interested in leaning towards. I never was interested in fighters before we did some research. Now they look fun, different, and similar to other classes as well. That if you were leaning towards ranger or you were leaning towards barbarian, but you weren't 100% sure of them. Fighter, you can lean into both of those categories while still being your own.
That's correct.
Which is really fun.
Yeah. So we're going to break down the fighter archetypes.
There's a lot of them.
There is a lot of them.
Do you want
Holy
to pull
shit.
it up for me so we can both have a look? Because we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the official books and purchasable products. Then you've also got 3 in playtesting mode plus the gunslinger.
2 plus playtesting, 1 in.
2 playtesting, 1 gunslinger.
Yeah. So
which
first
is
one
really fun.
that we're going to cover is the arcane archer. So we brought this up before, saying that the green arrow is an arcane archer. It's primarily if you're going to be an archer for it. So it's only ranged weapons that you do get bonuses for stuff, such as like the bow or the crossbow. And then they can also enhance your arrows with magic that give you different abilities. And these abilities can be like re-roll missed attacks, or like increase magic damage modifiers, or like give you elemental damage on top of it. That sort of stuff as well. Jasmine's filling around with something.
Yeah, I want to get our documents up.
Oh, I thought you wanted the thingo up, the web page
I want
up.
that too.
But then why do you got your little...
I want 2 to look at.
Sure. You can look at
Continue.
that. That's pretty much what the Arcane Archer is. Obviously, if you read up on it more in depth, this is just breaking down what the key thing of it is like. So it's a ranged abilities, ranged damage.
Yep.
And
close to crossbows and bows and
then you get your magic
stuff
that adds on top of it as well. So like you get the trick shots, you get the curving shot, the
Which,
arcane shot.
Did you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, if you want to break it down.
Yeah, so one of the cool things of Arcane Archer is at 3rd level. Is it 3rd level or is it 7th?
7th is magic arrow.
Yeah, no. At 3rd level, if you miss a target on your first shot, you can re-roll your attack roll to try to hit a different opponent, which is really fun. So you have a second chance at trying to hit someone else. So great for multi-attack, multi-enemy fighting.
That's right, yeah.
You can really utilize your archery, especially when they're close enough to each other as well, which is really fun.
Is there any archery abilities that give you like a net or something? I don't think there is there?
No, I don't think so. I think we did something different where I tied a rope together to 2 arrows and we shot them in our campaign. But
like caltrops, whatever it's called.
Caltrops?
Nah, the bowl.
Cowbells? Camel toe?
More cowbell? I don't know. I think if you homebrewed that, you could have like a crossbow that shoots multiple bolts, but you just have like the net that's tied between
attached to it and try to catch stuff, which is really fun.
So that's Arcane Archer. Again, Green Arrow is pretty much like the Arcane Archer of the pop culture world. The next one, which is from the Player's Handbook, is the Battle Master.
Which took us a long time to figure it out.
Yes.
We sat here arguing when we were writing up our notes for this one because we couldn't decide on how you would describe it. But one of the defining factors of a Battle Master is that you have superiority dice.
Yes.
So the description that they use is...
At the start, yep.
To a battle master, combat is an academic field, sometimes including subjects beyond battle, such as weaponsmithing and calligraphy. Basically, you kill it when it comes to fighting. Describe the superiority dice.
So this superiority dice is like an extra pool that you can pull from. So like
4 every long rest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which then upgrades to 5 and then 6 later on. They start off at being D8s, but then they go to D10s and then D12s. And what they do is if you use maneuvers, which is another thing from the archetype, then you can add superiority dice to the damage or to your move or to certain abilities. And it gives you like an increase to it. And then, you expend it and then you get whatever back.
Which is really cool. So 1d8 to anything. Just to go through, you can choose up to 3 maneuvers for your choice in Battle Master. There's a range of different ones. Most of them are strikes and attacks. So you have Commander Strike, Disarming Strike, Distracting Strike, Feinting Attack. You've got some other ones in there like Evasive Footwork, Parry, Rally, but then you've got stuff like Trip Attack, Sweeping Attack. And when you do those, you get to add your superiority dice to those moves.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
So this is like a class that you would want to pick if you want high damage and you don't really care about defensive bonuses to stuff. It's very close combat focused as well, as by the wording of it. It seems that it lots to be like the melee attack that you do, or like a friend that's in 5 feet of you gets to do something extra. So if you're going to be close combat focused, either like 2 swords, sword and shield, whatever you're after, this might be something that you're after, because, my brain is working 100% right now. And then later on in the class, you do get abilities that regain used dice. So there's like a few classes that have their own pool that it's like, if you don't have any left in your pool, you can get stuff back on the start of your battle phase, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
They want you to use it,
They want you to use it. There's different maneuvers and that kind of stuff as well, which is really interesting.
And back again, sorry about the little jump cut we had there. Our technology doesn't work all the time. Do not smash my stuff.
I'm my bad. Next up in the different fighter archetypes is a Cavalier, which is the one that we were most excited for to talk about.
You learnt what Cavalier means today.
I did. I'm learning as we go.
Yeah, both English and D&D.
Education in D&D.
So Cavalier is from Xanathars.
Yep.
And it's mounted combat focused.
Which is real cool.
Yeah.
Because you get an animal friend.
A manimal.
Well, I'm assuming you get one.
It's a weird version of a beast master. Ranger, which we haven't talked about yet.
Nope.
But you've played one before and you really enjoy it.
Loving
but
it.
you said that you might actually change to a Cavalier next time.
Or just multi-class.
Multi-class.
Yeah.
Which, no spoilers, but when we do multi-classing, that might be the character that we make.
I think so. So, a fun thing about Cavaliers is that your fighting style is focused on the mount.
That's correct.
primarily if you are hitting
Yes.
or if something hits you.
Or the mount.
Or the mount.
So it's a lot of reaction-based rolls. That's like, oh, if your mount gets hit, you get to take a reaction straight away to hit back at whatever hit your mount.
Yes.
So we were trying to think of like, yeah, you ride your mount right into the center of combat, jump off, it gets hit, you attack one, and then it's your turn.
And then it's your turn and you hit again.
Hit again.
Which is really fun.
Which we thought was interesting.
You can play it up. You can role play it. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yes.
I think we discussed this and said a lot of the Xanathar subclasses are great for multi-classing.
Yeah.
They are fun,
Yeah.
but they can be a bit painful to play.
So we haven't been playing 5th edition since release when we just started getting into it after Xanathar's been out.
Yes.
Are we going to say as like an official statement online that Xanathar's is what brought multi-classing back into D&D?
No, I think multi-classing has always been a thing as people always, most people, I mean, a common one that I've spoken to with a lot of people, multi-class a ranger and a druid.
Or a bard and a barbarian.
A bard and a bard and pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Bards are always fun. With that, I think Xanathar definitely invites you to multi-class with other things, just because I think, yes, they have strong elements, but they have some very weak ones as well.
Yeah.
And so to try to offset that, you'd want to multi-class to get a lot out of it as well. But we also discovered our own new version of the 5Ds in D&D. We were talking about Cavaliers.
Yeah, please go through them.
Dodge, dip, dash, dive, and disengage.
Which is our take on the fantastic movie Dodgeball 5Ds.
Dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge. Mostly because when you send your mount into battle, they can only do 3 things, which is dash, dodge, and disengage.
Yeah.
Which is very fun.
And then you can dip off the mount and you can dive on the ground and go prone.
Yeah.
So it's like the 5Ds of
the
D&D.
5Ds in D&D.
Obviously Dungeons
Dodge,
and
dip,
Dragons.
Dash, dive, and disengage, and also attack and use magic and
cast spells
and rituals and all that fun stuff. But these are our 5Ds.
Another thing about the Cavalier, which we're reading, well, it's here now, is at 18th level. No, at 15th level, sorry. The Ferocious Charger, where that, if you're mounted or not, and you move at least 10 feet in a straight line right before attacking a creature, you can hit that. And you hit at the target. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. It's like just a bull charge of some dude. It's like, you fucker hit my horse. I love how it's in a straight line. It's like you can just
can't
that
curve.
way.
You can't make a sweet sweeping when dogs run on actiles and they try to turn the corner. It's
No, but it's like if you just bull charge straight, you're just like, motherfucker, get out of my way.
I guess that's very similar to what's the activity called when it's a very medieval thing where they charge at each other with really long jousting.
Yeah.
It's jousting.
Yeah, except the other person's also on a horse and has a giant pole. Dude's just
Well, maybe this person
there,
does.
Just like shaking, just like.
Oh, they don't get the charging feature.
True, but you can do it on a horse as well.
Soccer
Or a camel, as we found, is a mount.
An elephant.
I'd love that.
They're very expensive in D&D.
Would you have to, if you're going as a cavalier and you get a mount, do you have to talk with your DM to say, can I just have the mount from the get-go?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
I think because, so in my campaign that I run, where
Oh, she forgot. She doesn't know.
No, what's it called?
What's it
when you
Oh.
homebrew. I couldn't even
That's
think
the
of the
one.
word for
Yep.
homebrew. I made them buy their mounts. I'm getting to the point where you guys are very, very rich.
I was going to say, but you
guys
broke
would
it so that they have heaps of money now, though.
No, I only work in gold.
Okay.
It's just
Like
easier.
an adult.
Like an adult. No, it's like a baby because I think it's easier to just think of one currency. But because they were starting to get a lot of money, I was like, you guys can buy mounts. And all of them fell for it and went, yeah, okay, we're going to buy some camels and stuff. I'm like, cool, that's all your money. And they were like, yes. And then they thought about it and they're like, shit.
So maybe I should have bought
Now
a
we
house,
don't have much
a
money.
small loan.
And I'm like, yep, yes, suckers fell for it. So now they're almost back to zero because all of them decided to buy mounts.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that they can carry more stuff with them.
But you don't worry about carry weight, do you?
Sometimes, it gets to a point. They all have bags of holding as well. I kind of broke my game.
Yeah.
Because I had too much fun with it. But it's getting to the point where they want to carry more weapons and they want to carry people, and they're starting to get a bit ridiculous, and they want to carry mementos from like every town they've visited. And I'm like, you can't carry that much.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
I mean, yeah.
Giving them mounts, they could do that. It also makes their traveling easier because they can travel by horse instead of having to be exhausted all the time.
Yep.
But the fun bit is I'm making them go through a desert, and so now they're having to worry about keeping their pets alive.
That's fair.
Which is also very funny. Back to...
that was a funny story.
It was, thank you.
Next time, more dinosaurs.
Now, champions.
So the champion archetype.
Which is in your basic rules, which you do get as your...
In the
Pretty sure it's in the
essential
starter
kit?
set.
Yeah.
No, not the essentials. It's in the starter
So it's in
set.
the starter set.
But also I think you get it free when you download D&D Beyond. It's your base set.
So we put the note here, and it's like a dot point. Most people wouldn't pick this.
It's a bit plain.
Unless you're using it to multi-class into something else.
Yep. Or you're brand spanking new and you're like, I'm going to be a fighter subclass champion because it's very easy.
So you focus on raw physical power, and it pretty much gives you crits on lower rolls.
Yes.
So that's the only real benefit that we could see from this class, is that it's like, oh, instead of just rolling a 20 to get it, you can roll an 18 in higher levels or 19 when you do get that feature unlocked. But you also get
additional fighting styles, which is fun. So you can choose another one that you haven't already chosen.
Which is what I was talking about before, about how fighters, if you start with being the archer fighting style and said, I don't really like it, you choose champion, and then now you can be dual wielding, and then you can have both, but at the same time, you can just enjoy playing D&D.
Yeah, yes, you can just enjoy D&D right for the basic stuff. So if you're brand spanking new and you don't want to think too much about it, choosing the fighter and champion one will get you started.
That's it.
It's very easy. It's not overly complicated. Like the Battle Master, it's not as complicated as spell classes like wizards and mages.
The two playtest ones, when we were reading those, especially the Rune Knight, what the fuck?
Complicated but super cool.
Yeah, once you read it and you actually read the wording
Yep.
of it, instead
If
of
you
do
don't
what we do, where we just skim over it and be like,
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
You can do that with champion.
Yes.
If you just want to skim over the rules and go, yep, I know what I'm doing. You will know what you're doing because it's very basic.
That's right.
Eldritch Knight, which was another fun one.
From the Player's Handbook. Yep. It's a spell casting fighter class. The first one to be introduced because it was in the Player's Handbook, which then they've now expanded on in other ones. Its primary thing is that you get a weapon bond. So you can summon weapons, you can't be disarmed, and you can have two weapons bonded at the same time. So you can dual wield Eldritch Knight.
Thor God of Thunder. Stormbreaker and Mjolnir.
That's it. That's why he's so good at it.
Yeah,
even though he
he's
gets
bonded
disarmed.
Oh,
But then cuts
your
out
weapon
his
pulled you off. Oh, you sound like you had a very special bond with one of your... I'm doing
I'll pulled you off, you reckon?
Yeah,
Jerked off.
that's the joke from Thor Ragnarok.
I hate that movie. Oh,
I know,
controversy.
look, yes, I do. But that bit where he's talking to...
Titty white titty.
Yeah, that one. And he's like, your hammer pulls you up? Oh, yuck. No, it pulled me off the ground. It sounds like you have a very special bond with your hammer. I think I did it very good.
I was about to say, you've done a very bad accent.
I thought it was very good. You can suck an egg.
Oh. So it mixes magic and melee in the same turn. As in that you can cast a cantrip and then follow it up with an melee weapon, melee attack afterwards.
Guidance. I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
Plus 1d4.
Yeah.
Sucker.
That's pretty good. And then later on, you can teleport on your action surge.
Yeah.
So you could run in, do your attack. Oh, no, you would teleport in.
No, you'd run in.
But you have to do it on action surge to teleport.
Yeah. So run in.
Yep.
Because you can just run.
Yeah.
Fight and then teleport out.
But action surge is a bonus action that gives you bonuses to your attacks.
Yep.
So why would you lose that?
You can still run.
Yeah, but why would you lose the extra attack?
You're not losing the extra attack.
On action surge.
Running and attacking is still in one turn.
Yeah.
And then use your bonus action to teleport out.
But then you don't get the benefit of the attack.
Why wouldn't you?
Because you're doing it, you'll use the bonus action after your action.
Yes.
So you don't start with the bonus action.
I'm not saying that. Running is not a bonus action.
Yes. Jasmine, listen. If the order goes move, attack, bonus action, and your bonus action lasts your whole turn, if you're doing it at the end of the turn, then you lose that benefit except for the teleport. So I'm saying
bonus action you can use at the end.
Yeah, but why would you lose the attack benefit just so you can teleport away?
You're not. You're attacking, and then you're using your bonus action after you have attacked
Exactly.
to teleport.
But then you don't get the bonus of the action surge on your attack.
The action is that you're teleporting.
But
That's your bonus action.
But you also get the action surge normal benefit as well.
No, it's using it. That's the thing, is that you can... No, I'm right, you're wrong. Let me prove it.
No.
Give me a second. I need D&D Beyond to load.
Okay, we're going to class features. Okay, sorry to break
so
away.
much.
What is action surge? What is it? On your turn, you can take one additional action, right?
Yep.
So if your extra action is going to be to do another attack... Oh, okay, I guess it's just fucking matter.
Oh, yeah. So who was right? Who was fucking right?
Who
was fucking right?
Not
Can
you.
I be? Yep, you figured it out. I was fucking right. An action turn on your turn to make one additional action. Does not say attack. So your additional action when you hit that level is to teleport the fuck away.
You get to teleport on top of doing the action surge.
Fine. Then I'll use my action surge to take another
Action
fucking
surge.
hit and then teleport the fuck away. I was fucking right.
All right, okay.
Suck an egg.
You can walk home.
This is how we have our discussions about D&D at home. So just letting you all know that you're joining in on the conversation now.
I'm very embarrassed. I'm going to end myself.
Because I was right.
Purple Dragon Knight is the
because I
next
was
class.
right,
This is a sword cast source book.
I want to hear you say
I'm going to flick you right in the jugular. And it's pretty much like a bannerman, how it buffs close allies.
buffs you and close allies. There's
Later on, it allows you to make your allies do the stuff like you do.
Yep.
So whatever, if you're doing an attack, you get a bonus attack, they get the bonus attack. But it's only for like the
so
closest
Rallying
person.
Cry, Inspiring Surge. So, for example, Rallying Cry at 3rd level. Choose 3 creatures within 60 feet of you. Each one regains number of hit points equal to your fighter level, provided that the creature can see or hear you. Inspiring Surge, creatures within 60 feet of you can make 1 melee attack or ranged weapon attack with its reaction, provided they can see or hear you. So you're providing them the opportunity to do things.
Yes.
Which is interesting. It's different. It's the Sword Coast Adventures guide.
So you were saying that that's more like a role-playing book? Like a
I think
role-playing
so.
source book?
I've always seen it as more of a role-playing book because it doesn't offer more subclasses for every class. So for druids, for example, it has other circles, but they actually don't add anything to your... You don't get extra things on your 5th and 7th and 11th level. It just says, oh, if you choose this one, you can have these some things, like role-playing aspects.
Yeah.
Which is kind of boring, but it's there. It's a fighter type.
Mm.
If any of you have played a Purple Dragon Knight as a fighter, let us know how you enjoyed it.
Or if
It's
you
always
didn't
interesting.
enjoy it.
Yeah, or you didn't.
Also, did you just have like a giant spear with a flag on it to really play on the bannerman thing?
Yeah.
The next thing, which is your favorite Roronoa Zoro, the Samurai, which
Yes.
is the Xanathus subclass.
We have a friend, Thor, plays as
Not
a
God of
samurai.
Thunder, we call him
No,
Thor.
we call him Thor because
We
he's
call
a
him Thor.
very lovely deep voice.
And he looks like Thor.
Straight off the bat, 3rd level, you get bonus proficiencies. Fighting Spirit, which is interesting. Did you want to talk a bit about the Fighting Spirit?
It increases to hit and makes you tougher
Mhm.
because it gives you temporary hit points.
5 temporary hit points, yeah.
You get 3 charges of it and it gets recharged at a long rest.
Mhm.
So going back on to the Battle Master, the Battle Master is good after you make your initial hit roll. So if you
Yes.
hit something, you get the benefits with the superiority dice on damage rolls,
Mhm.
while the Samurai gives you benefits to
To
hit.
hit.
Yes, but not necessarily the damage rolls.
Mhm.
Obviously, being
Not
a
straight away, but
warrior, fighter, you get those benefits anyway. But yeah, the caveat to that later on is that you can actually exchange your bonuses to hit for extra attacks.
which is really cool. It's not till much later,
Yeah.
but really fucking fun.
So then we were saying that like because fighters get like 3 extra
So
attacks.
at 11th level, you gain your 3rd attack, so your 2nd extra attack.
Yeah. And then so if you have
This is how we're bringing into it.
yeah.
Yes.
So if you use Fighting Spirit to get increased to hit and you're rolling your 3 hits, then you sacrifice the bonus to hit for extra attacks.
That's Rapid Strike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well that's what I'm doing the later on thing. But you have to sacrifice your Fighting Spirit
Yes.
to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Fighting Spirit is what it's called. But so our math of this working is you say you're going to attack, you use one thing of Fighting Spirit so you get the bonus to hit, but before you roll, you say, actually, I'm going to use my swift strikes to
Rapid strikes, yeah.
rapid strike, sorry, so that you can exchange your 2-hit bonus from using fighting spirit as extra attacks. Then you roll 6 dice because you have 3 dice.
That makes no sense.
How not?
So you're saying I'm going to use fighting spirit, and then even before you roll, you're saying I'm not going to use fighting spirit.
Yeah, because if you were to roll and you're going to add your 2-hit bonus to it. So I'm saying that you have to say, I'm going to use fighting spirit.
But why would you just don't say it at all and just say I'm going to use rapid surge?
Because as a DM and I'm saying, oh, how the fuck are you getting 6 attacks? If you can't explain it to me, I'm not going to give you 6 attacks.
I would just say I'm going to use rapid strike.
And I said, okay, well, how are you getting the bonus to hit?
What do you mean the bonus to hit?
If
you have the attack. But you don't get the attack by using fighting spirit.
Read the blurb for rapid attack.
Rapid strikes done at 15th level. You learn to trade accuracy for swift strikes. If you take the attack action on your turn and have advantage on an attack
and
roll
where do you
against...
Where do you get advantage on hit?
Against blah, 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 blah. Fighting spirit. As a bonus action on your turn, you can give yourself advantage on weapon...
attack rolls.
So bonus action, you give yourself advantage.
Okay,
so you're not just saying it. You're saying, as a bonus action, I want to expend my fighting spirit so I have advantage. And then on my normal turn, I assumed you were just like, I'm going to use fighting spirit. Actually, I've changed my mind and I want to use this.
No, I'm saying, no. How I said it was, I'm using fighting spirit and I'm not going to use my to-hit bonus, but I'm going to sacrifice that to get more attack hits. That makes sense?
I'm on it now.
Yes.
Got a little confused. You picked me up on the way at the end and now we're back on track.
So that's how we're reading it.
Samurai is fun.
With
Samurai, you can smash it.
I guess. They also have a Defying Death ability as well at level 18, which again we thought would be a bit weird if, like, for instance, you're a half-elf, half-orc, who when goes down to 0 actually goes down to 1. So technically you go down to 0. You'll activate your Undying feature, which then gives you the bonuses to that, then go back up to 1 health. And then when you get this Undying thing, what do you get?
If you take damage that reduces you to 0 hit points and doesn't kill you outright, you can use your reaction to delay falling unconscious, and you can immediately take 1 extra turn, interrupting your current turn.
The current turn.
When the extra turn ends, you fall unconscious if you still have 0.
But if you're a half-orc, you don't actually go down and stay at 0.
So that is almost useless if you're a half-orc.
No, because you go to 0 and then it goes back up to 1.
You take your action, and then instead of falling back unconscious, you stay up at 1.
That's what I'm saying.
That's interesting.
So it's like, that's what I was trying to say is, like,
I get
you could kind of break it with the wording of the
yes, you again talk to your DM, see if they allow it.
Yeah.
But if you want to break the game, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. And the only reason I know that is because we have a lot of people in our parties that play half-orcs and they use that feature for that race so often.
It keeps him alive.
It keeps him alive, yeah.
It keeps him alive. Overall, fighters are really interesting, super versatile, especially in the way that you fight, choosing your weapons or armor. Anything else you'd recap with fighters?
Yeah, we haven't talked about any of the Unearthed Arcana ones. Oh, fuck. There's 2 more to go.
Okay.
We'll just do a quick thing. So they're both in
playtest mode, so you can't use them in adventure leagues. But there's 2 of them. Rune Knight, which connects you basically to... You were taught under certain giants, which is really interesting. The way that I connected to it was, if any of you have watched Full Metal Alchemist, having to draw runes and using them to do different magic, somewhat similar.
And so you get 2 runes at the start, and depending on which runes you use, you can either have them as a passive bonus or you can evoke them to activate them, which then destroys them off, like, whatever you're using them on.
For that day.
For the day.
You get them back at a long rest or as a short rest?
On a long rest.
Yeah.
And then so the elements are in response to the giant type. So like the hill giant, fire giant, frost, cloud, storm, and stone.
Yep.
And they will give you benefits based on the characteristics of those giants.
So, for example, hills, even though they are very dumb.
Just to clarify, hill, like running hills, not heel.
Yeah, look, we had a huge debate over this. You were like, fire the heels. I'm like, I never said that. And you're like, yes, I did. No, you didn't. So, hill, Hill. So right at the beginning, you have resistance to poisonings, but if you invoke them, you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for up to a minute.
Yes.
And then right at the top, you've got your storms, so your big boys, your basic. What did you say, passive?
Your passive is that you get advantage on Arcana checks, and
You cannot be surprised.
you cannot be surprised. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
And then your invocation.
So to invoke it, then you get the ability to get to cause advantage or disadvantage on someone that's making an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, whether that's an ally or an enemy, as long as they're in 60 feet of you. So it's really interesting. They get two things per each one. Later on in the subclass, you can have additional runes that your character knows, because you start off by knowing 2, and then at 7 you learn 3, and then at 10 you learn the 4th one, and then at 18 you learn the 5th one. And then every time you long rest, you can choose a different combination
2
of
sets
those
of ones, and you can put it either on your shield, your weapons, or your armor.
Yeah.
So you can play around with it, with how you've imbued them.
Yeah. And then the other Unearthed Arcana one, which is playtesting at the moment, is the Psychic Warrior, which uses magic to strengthen the abilities, which can be both offensive or defensive, by augmenting the defenses or the strikes. So it's kind of like the Eldritch Knight, but it's more like an augmentation rather than a magic assistance to it.
Yeah.
Is how I've worded it. And then we've got the camera that just died on us.
Sorry, people were watching.
But the Gunslinger, which we've talked about throughout this episode. We're not going to actually go into it because it's actually very...
There's a lot. I would almost do Gunslinger as a separate
I think we might do that just Critical Role content by itself. Yeah.
But it's a different one as well.
Read it if you want.
About later.
Yep.
It's really fun. We've played with a Gunslinger. He was our policeman in Dragon Heist.
He was a Forge Cleric. He was not a Gunslinger.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But he had a gun.
He had a gun. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, that's Fighters as a whole. Take 2 of that. Super versatile. You have a lot of options.
That's right.
You can do ranged. You can do close combat.
Wear whatever you want.
Do spells if you choose the right one.
Yep.
Would you play it?
Yeah, I would. I would play it knowing what we've got into, like reading about it and stuff. I think the Cavalier is probably the funniest one, because like we've discussed something that we're going to do in a multi-class episode for that. I just reckon it's a very different way to play the game. But again, it depends on the DM, allowing you to have mounts, or like giving it you at a cheaper rate, or if you need to have a backstory that gives you a mount or something like that.
Start it from the beginning, yeah. Which is super fun.
We apologize for any arguments that may have happened through this. We're still very heated over the Christmas New Year period.
We love arguing about D&D. It's our thing.
Yeah.
You can always join in.
Yep. Always join in.
Yep.
Talk to us at Rocket Tabletop on whichever
social medias that you prefer.
That's right.
Finish it up as well. Did you want to... Imaginary Adventures?
Shout out again.
Yep.
20% off till the end of January. Rocket Tabletop is the code. Apply it at checkout. Just a huge shout out again. They are Australian owned and operated. They do supply super fast Australian shipping and 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Which we have experienced all 3 of those.
Yes.
Being that they are super responsive with their satisfaction guaranteed. We had a couple of minis come broken when we bought them, and they replaced them instantly, which was fantastic. Super responsive as well.
Yep.
So Australian owned is always fun as well, because we are also Australian.
So just once again, Rocket Tabletop, so ROCKET at checkout for 20% off until the end of January 2020. Thank you for listening.
Catch ya.
Have a good week.